Okay, you decided to jump to part 3 where I show you what the inside is for each controller. Okay, let's go ahead and open up one of these controllers. We'll start with the TTX Tech one because I want to save the Cirka one for a little later in the video. So it takes a normal Phillips screwdriver, just like the official Nintendo one. Nintendo has been using Phillips on their controllers until the GameCube. Someone over there thought, let's change it to tri-wing, which was not the best idea because some people had their left sticks or their right sticks drifting, and they'd have to fix it by pressing YX start, which was a good temporary fix, but it's not a good permanent fix. So Nintendo should have kept those Phillips, but they didn't want them tampering with their stuff, so if they wanted, you were forced to buy another controller. Let's move the screws out of the way. So the inside of the TTX Tech controller. Also, one more thing, if you were to take this apart yourself, this would be covering one of the 5 screw holes. Mine was right there when I got it. So here's the back. This is the back piece that holds onto the circuit board. This is actually very constructed very well. The cord wraps around right here. You got your left and right bumpers with the hinge pins built into them. Let's take those out. Let's take the rubber paddings out. These are similar to the actual Nintendo one, for those who don't know. Let's take the shoulder buttons out. Gotta be careful with this because this is actually one of my better clone controllers. And then you're in the inside of this part. It looks similar to a Retro Duo if you haven't taken one apart. We'll start with the directional pad. In fact, this actually has the same rubber padding like a Retro Duo. Go figure. Here's your wonderful constructed directional pad. I mean, this is very well constructed. You could actually take this and put it in a Retro Duo. I think it would fit. The select and start buttons, they're okay. I think you could fit actual Nintendo ones. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I found my spare rubber padding I had for another Super Nintendo controller. This one was from a broken one that had a broken L button. I tried everything to fix it, but it was irreparable for some reason. So let's see if this can actually fit in the TTX Tech one. Does it fit? Huh, well it almost does. These plastic tabs kind of get in the way. So if you want the official one to fit in here, you would actually have to break away the plastic, but that's not what I'm going to do for this purposes of this video. But if you want to, that's how you do it. So, well, that answers my question. Now, the face buttons. You can actually swap these around if you want this to look like an Xbox or a Dreamcast. Let's say you want to swap these two colors to have it like a Dreamcast controller, or these around to make it look like an Xbox. Well, sort of. You can do that, although I should mention you can't stick actual Nintendo buttons in these, but if you want yours to have a unique color scheme like you would find on another controller, you can do that. So that's something pretty cool about this controller. So, and these buttons don't really bother me that at all, so I'm not going to gripe. But back onto the directional pad, I wonder if you can actually fit an actual Nintendo one in here. Oh yes, you can, but this one's actually not that bad, so I think I'm going to put the one that came with the controller back in. So when you reassemble this, you want to make sure the pads are facing downwards with the contact point towards you. We'll start with the shoulder buttons next. Drop them in right here. This is the right one. You don't want to put them on backwards because I've done that before. It looks kind of silly. So it's much easier with the metal rod tabs. So it's a minor gripe here. So you want to line these up. Oh, there we go. Thing bounced right out. That's lovely. Maybe I should have put No, wait, actually, there we go. Now we put the PCB in. You want to be careful because you could actually damage either a wire or something on the boards if you don't do it correctly. And a shoulder button fell out. I'll fix that in a moment. Lovely. Not. So, here's what you do. You line up the shoulder buttons properly like this. This one, you want to line. This cord really doesn't want to stay put. Let's. There we go. Okay. I was trying to do this through the viewfinder. I apologize. There. Now that cord's not going to escape. Pop this thing back here. Now we put this piece back on. I'll screw it off in the jump cut. So, time for a jump cut. Wow, that was hectic. Getting the cord wrapped around, I do apologize. So I had to do a jump cut. But I forgot to mention the cord, as you can tell, you cannot swap it with an actual Nintendo one easily. That one has a, well, some of them have a quick disconnection very easily. Later ones have it soldered to this, and yeah, so putting the cord on this to the official one, well, it's to the drawing board. Let's hope you know what you're doing, because if you do it wrong, well, that can be a problem. Now let's go ahead and take apart the Cirka one. This one also has 5 Phillips screws, so here we go. There would be a sticker right there if you wanted to take yours apart. Still has some remnants of that. I tried to move the sticker to another position to make it easier. It looked more interesting, but I couldn't, so sorry. It just said QC pass on it. So now let's move these screws to the side. Now here's what the inside of this one looks like. The interesting thing is, well, one of the rods for the shoulder buttons flew right off. Now, it's in here somewhere, I'll get to that. But just like the real Super Nintendo, this has a rod thing, metal surrounding the shoulder buttons. Oh, there it is. That's lovely. Mine likes to stick on the back piece, but as you can tell, that's how you take it off normally. Now the right one. See? Metal. That's one thing Cirka did right. Shoulder buttons. The pads are about the same. The cord, I should mention, this one has a little soldered, just like the SNES 102. I think you can put this on the 102. I don't know if you can or not. So, don't message and say you can't. I don't know. But other than that, let's take the board out. One thing I should mention about the Cirka one. This one's actually constructed like a real Super Nintendo controller. You got ground. They even labeled what each wire does what. So I think you can put this on the real one. In fact, the innards of this looks identical to a real one for some bizarre reason. We'll start with the directional pad. The rubber padding is similar to a real one. This directional pad is a piece of dog turd. Well, the top part. You might as well take one from a broken Super Nintendo controller. It fits just fine, and it feels much, much nicer in the hands. In fact, this actually makes a world of difference when I play Panel de Pong. So if you want me to demonstrate this with this piece in it, I'd be happy to. I'll do that in another video. So yeah, let's put this back on. The rubber paddings for select and start, they feel like the real ones and look like the real ones. Let's see if the real ones fit in there. Huh. Oh, it does fit. Yeah, I think you can put the official ones in this controller. Now for the face buttons, let's put the ones I can't listen. These actually look like ones from the real ones. I think if you wanted to put the colors from the Super Famicom controller in this controller, you could do that. I haven't tried that. I don't have any broken Super Famicom or third-party ones that actually have the color buttons. So, unfortunately. So, but maybe if I find, but just for LOLs, I'll probably take apart my Super Famicom or Super Famicom Junior controller and do that. So for now, I'm just going to put this back together. Let's just get right to this. Make sure all the pieces are on. So if anything positive compared to the TTX Tech, this one actually is constructed like a real Super Nintendo controller. I think you can fit this in actual Super Nintendo housing, or swap some pieces around. I've actually done it before, and it sort of works. So there we are. Pop the rubber pads back on. Now the metal rods, you don't want to lose those, otherwise it would be a challenge. This is the left one, or the right one, depending on how you look at it. See, it says R right there. It's got embossed plastic just like the later Super Nintendo controllers. Oh, son of a... This is what I hate about some of these controllers. I really don't want to do a jump cut here. There we go. At least it's now seated properly. There we go. Finally, I can put this back together. So, yeah. In conclusion, when it comes to construction-wise, this actually looks more like a real Super Nintendo controller than that. That's more like the bootleg controllers that you can get online. At least this actually works with the stuff much better. So, other than that, that's my conclusion of the three-part comparison of the Cirka versus TTX Tech controller. If you want to play Street Fighter or fighting games, stuff like that, I don't have Street Fighter, so I can't really demonstrate it. Sorry. The best I could demonstrate was with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Panel de Pon. They weren't the best choices, but they'll have to do for the time being. So, thanks for watching. This is Rika Rocks 2001 saying thanks for watching my 3 parts. And if you want me to demonstrate the Cirka controller with the real Super Nintendo Directional Pad, I'll be happy to do that. I mean, why not? I'll probably make a follow-up video showing this with colors from seeing if it will, how it will look with modified and stuff. So, till then, thanks for watching. Oh, that screw doesn't. Oh, there we go. See ya.